Shalom. Give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yoshua Bashim Rakakadash. The honors to the elders and apostles and the men on down for this truth and knowledge. The Wadi Bashim Yoshua put in the spirit of the elders and apostles and the men on down for this truth and knowledge. Learn this truth and knowledge. Call all Yah Bashim Yoshua Bashim Rakakadash. Give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yoshua Bashim Rakakadash. I want to read relating to the FEMA Executive Management Agency related to some executive orders, a few of them. Notes I wrote for a while ago. Allows the government to take over all modes of transportation and control the highways and the seaports. So the government can take all forms of transportation, all forms of modes of transportation, public or private, and control the highways and seaports. That's Executive Order 10990. You can see it's a little dark. Executive Order 10995 allows the government to cease and control communication, which is the media, any form of communication. They can control it, bro. That's the media. Any form of venue of communication. Executive Order, that's Executive Order 995. This is Executive Order 997. Allows the government to take over all electronic power, gases, petroleum, fuel, and minerals, and other forms of resources, man. That's under 10. That's on Executive Order 10997, man. Executive Order 10998 allows the government to cease all means of transportation. Now we'll go with Executive Order 10990, including personal cars, trucks, vehicles of any kind. So public, private, POV vehicles they can take, man. And total control of highways, seaports, and waterways, man. So the highways and the ports and the waterways they can take over, man. That would be Executive Order 10998, man. So they can take your personal vehicle. They can cease if they want. Executive Order 1099 allows the government to take over all food resources and forms of food resources in farms, man. Weaponize and control the food, you control the population, the populace or population of people, man. Because you control the food, you control the people, man. Executive Order 11,000 allows the government to take and mobilize civilians into work brigades and in government brigades, so they can put people in a form of a work concentrational camp and cease and put them in where pretty much a form of a work detail, man. So they had a power that relates to civilian. I'm going to read that again. Allows the government to mobilize civilians into work brigades, civilians into work, regular people into work brigades and governmental brigades, man. That's Executive Order 11,000, man. Now, Executive Order 11,001, man, allows the government to take over health, all health, education, and welfare resources. Pretty much basic governmental agencies and resources to help the general pop, general people, man. For example, the welfare and pretty much the social programs, man. Forms of social programs, health, education, and welfare, man. So they take over that, man. That's under 11,001, man. So these are executive orders related to the FEMA Emergency Management Agency. Klaus Schwab said at the World Economic Forum, he said, one of his quotes, you will own nothing and you'll love it, man. So pretty much, you really own nothing, man. You just have the optics to and the privilege to possess it, but you really don't own it, man. And what that means is they give you the illusion that because you possess it, you have owned it, but you really don't own it, man. Not according to these executive orders, you don't own it, man. You don't even own yourself, man. And you really don't. You're just a name, a number of a product, property of the major corporation, man. So they own you, man. Through your social security, your driver's license, you're a name and a number, man. Just like in the prison systems, man. You're a number in the prison systems, man. But in this case, this is open prison system, man. Which is the optics of freedom, man. Because really, if you really had the freedom like that, you'd be able to move and operate in a certain manner, but you don't, man. Point is, they own. You don't own nothing. For example, your car here, you don't own that, man. You know, they can seize that. House, they can seize that. Property, they can seize that, man. You own nothing, man. That's why he said that. You will own nothing and you'll love it, man. That was Klaus Schwab of the World Economical Forum, man. Allodial title, man. Let me get that. That's what we want to get. Allodial title constitutes ownership of real property. Building and fixtures that is independent of any superior landlord. Allodial title is related to the concept of the land held in the allodium, or land ownership by occupancy and defense of the land. So that land, what you pay for, you pay that to somebody who really owns it, man. So the house is paid for, but the land is not. You know, they'll take it, whatever's on that land, they'll seize that, man. And really, you don't own your house either, man, because they can take that too, man. You know what I mean? You don't own nothing here, man. Your car that you pay off, they can seize that under that executive order. They can seize your personal property, your car, and different things, man. They can do that, man. They have a lot of statutes and decrees, man. They have, man. You know what I mean? That's on the books, man. Let's go to some scriptures. Shalach 10:1. Here we go. Woe to them was a warning for destruction. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees. That's the wicked. Unrighteous decrees. These statutes, laws, policies. These form of contractual agreements, man. They are really ungrievous. And they write grievousness which they have prescribed because they're grievous to for the majority of people that these decrees are for, man. They don't benefit them, man. In some way, in some fashion, man. They don't benefit them. Number 2, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor. So take away the rights from the poor, because the poor has no rights, man. Scripture talks about, I believe that's in Proverbs 18:23. The poor makes it. The poor begs entreaties, and the rich answer roughly. And what that means is they entreaties they beg for. You know, what I mean, they beg and let me get it. Proverbs 18:23. Shalach, poor uses entreaties. Okay. All right, the poor uses entreaties. And those entreaties, they beg basically begging, beseeching. But the rich answer roughly. So the rich, you're at the mercy of the rich. A servant, the borrower is a servant to the lender, man. The borrower, which is the poor, to the lender, who's the rich, man. You know what I mean? So you're a servant to the lender, man. You're at the mercy of them, man. So the rich, they answer roughly because they're in a position of power where they don't have to respect you, because you're at their mercy, man. Just like I said with that quote, man. You will have nothing and you'll love it, man. So that was 18 and 23. Go to 22 and 7 Proverbs. This is a different one. This is different messaging. The poor always ruled over the rich, but so don't borrow and put yourself under their power, man. So, because once you borrow, you're under their power, man. You know what I mean? In some cases, you kind of have no choice, man. Because the earth has been given to what? The hands of the wicked. Job 9 and 24. So they're in a position of power, man. They have everything. They own everything. There's different translations. Look at the regular one for KJV. Schlock. Just looking. Another one, Boring Study. This is the BSB, which is Boring Study. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. So you're a slave to the lender, man. KJV. The rich ruleth over the poor because they're in a position of power, and the poor is a servant to the lender. So you're a slave to a servant goes to serf, lender, serf, worker, slave, man. You're a slave to the ones who are in power, in position of power, man. Just like I said over and over, Klaus Schwab said, you will own nothing, you'll love it. You know what I mean? Let me go back to Isaiah 10 and 1. I'm going to go back to that again. Read that. All right, here we go. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, and turn aside the needy from judgment, and take away the rights from the poor, which is the righteous of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. So they take the rights and pretty much the poor at the mercy of what? Of these ones who are in a position of power. Job 9 and 24, because they have the power to right. They control policies and change ordinances and times, man, as described in Daniel, man. So they're in a position of power, man. They're in a position of power, for example, to what? Right? These unrighteous decrees, which are law, statutes, policies, and different things. Let's go to that that'll be Daniel 7:25. Here we go. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. That's the ones in power, and shall wear out the saints which are the prophets. Because Scripture talks about the saints complain continually, man, of the Most High, and think to change times. So they're going to change the times, the laws. You know what I mean? That's going to, pretty much go contrary to what the order of things. And they shall be given into his hand until... Read it again. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, which is the wicked. And he shall wear out the saints of the Most High, which are the prophets, the men of the Lord, and think to change times and laws. So the earth has been given to the hands of them, so they can change the times, the laws, write unrighteous decrees, pretty much set different forms of ordinances. And they shall be given into his hand, because in his hand is what? The power has been given to his hands, man. You know what I mean? Until a time and times and invited of times, man. Until the Lord has appropriate time to regarding Job 14:5, which he's not going to go beyond the bounds that he set, man. I'll read 26. I'll read the rest of it. But the judgment shall sit in, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy it to the end. So the Lord's going to take away that his power. And the kingdom and the dominion and greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. And all dominions shall serve and obey him. All these nations are going to serve and obey. That's the next kingdom, man. So one is going to be Scripture talks about one's going to be given to one is profitable, man. What that's that'll be Sirach 10:4, man. You know. So the one who's profitable, it'll be his son, man. Get that real quick. Let me see. I'm gonna read the start at 1. A wise judge will instruct us, edify, teach, build, instruct. And the government of a prudent man is well ordered. So one who's well ordered, is gonna a prudent man, a wise man. I think it's going to be established and well ordered, man. So they instruct his people, teach, educate, edify his people, man, and judge. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man, ruler of the city, is such are all they that dwell in. So whatever ones who are in position of power, the people are going to follow after suit, man. And a unwise king destroyeth his people. So unwise king, one who's in a position of power, is going to destroy his people, man. But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So a wise king, is going to be inhabited. But an unwise king, the people are going to be destroyed, man. For the earth, Scripture talks about Proverbs 29:2. For the earth. For when the righteous are in authority, people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, people mourn. So when the wicked are in position of power, people are going to mourn because of the way they operate and rule, man. You know what I mean? Scripture talks about 6 and 4. He took peace from the earth, man. You know, the red horse. He took peace from the earth with the great sword, because the power has been given to his hand. Through his hand, he used the sword, man. Through his hand, the sword. That's his blessing, man. So he's taking peace from the earth. So the people are going to mourn, man, because he's in the position of power, man. He's an unwise judge, man. So the people are going to mourn. Number 4, the power of the earth is in the hands of the Lord. So ultimately, the power is in the hands of the Lord. You know, he puts kings, and he controls kings whatsoever they go. He controls the hearts and the minds of men. Ultimately, he's the one that put the righteous, the wicked in a position of power, man, whether good or bad. Well, ultimately, the Lord's control. The power of the earth is in the hands of the Lord, and in due time, he will set one over that is profitable, man. So that's his son, man. But the Lord is the one who sets whether good kings or bad kings in a position of power, man. So if there's a wicked and unwise ruler, the Lord allow him to be in a position of power, man. So this is relating to now 2 Ezra 6, 7 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning that follows. So Esau is the one in position of power because the Lord allowed him to be in a position. He blessed him with the power, blessed him having the sword, and he blessed him to be in the position of power. And the earth has been given to the hands of the wicked, man. So the Lord gave that blessing to the wicked, man, to be in a position of power, man. The Lord controls the hearts and the minds of men, and he controls the king wherever he turneth, man. The scripture says. So this was just a few relating to executive orders. You know, I hope it helps in some way. One more scripture. Hold up. Scripture talks about be not ignorant of anything great matter or small. So anything of great matter or small, be not ignorant of, man. One more I found. Shalak. 5 and 11, set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. And that's the righteous. They're going to be exalted in safety in the position of power ultimately, man. You know? His children are, this is 5:4 of Job, his children are far from safety, and they are crushed in the gate. Neither is there any to deliver them, man. And that's the Lord's people, man. They are crushed. They're not far from safety, and they're crushed at the gate because the ones in position of power are over them, man. And there's none to deliver them out of their hand except Yahweh Bashim Yashah in the due time and due season. And that being said, I hope this helps. There's a few scriptures relating to talk about those executive orders, and give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yashah Bashim Makakadash. Shalom. This is Brother Zayab. Shalom.